Hello, everybody. This is Protodead coming back at you with another podcast. It's been a while. Changed a couple things up. But tonight, I'm going to be hanging with my good friend Cloudy Emerald, and we're going to be talking about The Last of Us. So, The Last of Us video games and then also the TV show. So, spoiler alerts ahead for anybody who's like maybe not finished with The Last of Us, or maybe you want to play through the games, you don't want to have stuff spoiled. It's going to be like 2 hours of us just talking about The Last of Us. So, on Protodead's podcast, I like to talk about music, movies, books, content creation. I mean, any sort of multimedia sort of stuff. I like to get into that stuff. Politics comes up sometimes in some of the older ones. So, but anyway, I kind of like to have just a free form discussion. You know what a podcast is. If you like it, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it, and that's cool too. Leave a comment down below. I'm Protodead. Subscribe for later, and let's get into it. The Last of Us.
Like Bella Ramsey's face is unfortunate, but I don't think that's what breaks the show. I don't think the character Ellie has to be conventionally attractive, like people say in the video game. I think it's just the quality of the writing that's dog shit. And I mean, maybe even Bella Ramsey's acting is just dog shit too, because maybe she's just not that fucking good. I don't know, man.
Yeah, my whole thought is just to wrap my arms around it. The first season, I kind of give it a pass. It seemed like they were filming during COVID, so I'm not sure what the budget was, or how they wrote things. You know what I mean? It's like it
Yeah,
just seemed off. It seemed kind of jankety, the
yeah,
whole show,
yeah.
and I'm wondering it's because they were filming during COVID, and the writing was shitty, and then the acting was it was bad because of the writing. The second season, I think Bella Ramsey gave up. I don't know. She came out as autistic, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what the whole story behind that is. If she's just on the spectrum, if she's just doing it just to be hip.
I don't know, dude. I hate to go on a limb and say that, but it kind of feels that way. It kind of feels like everybody that wants to pretend that there's some sort of flavor is special is doing it just because it's hip, and they actually don't feel special themselves, so they have to make something up. You know?
She kind of does look special though. Like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me being biased, but like you're right. She was a bad actress.
I don't
She
think
looked weird, and the character was written like dog crap, but I think you could kind of save it. I don't know.
save it like
Like I felt like Pedro tried to save the bad writing in the first season.
I
And
think
I just had a feeling like Bella Ramsey just phoned it in the whole time.
yeah. Well, I think everybody on call phoned it in except for maybe Joel. I think to your point, I agree. I think Pedro Pascal as Joel probably did the greatest. He did the good job. Yeah, he carried all the acting weight, right? I think he was the one that was the standout actor of them all, which isn't saying a whole lot because I don't think he's that great of an actor to begin with. I don't think any of his other roles that he's had before that has been largely impressive. A lot of people will dick ride him a little bit because of the Mandalorian, but it's like, dude, he's not even on in the fucking show. He's literally the voice. He's not the guy in the suit. That's a stunt man. And Pedro Pascal is like he's putting his voice through a modulator anyway. Anybody can do that. Like I could put a filter on this my microphone right now and look, I could be somebody different. You know.
I don't know. I think there's art to good voice acting. I don't know about the Mandalorian because I really didn't. I kind of like half watched the first season.
You're
I
not
thought he was
missing much.
badass in Game of Thrones, in my opinion. I thought
Yeah.
his character was super cool, and that was like the peak of that show is when he was on it, and then his brain got exploded, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah. I think that character in Game of Thrones, Mardell or Martell or something.
Martell, yeah.
Oberyn, was it Oberyn Martell?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think he was only on like out of all the episodes, he's only like on there for like 5 episodes, maybe. He's not. He wasn't on there
Which
very
is pretty
long.
good for Game of Thrones if you think about it, because that's the whole thing about it is that everyone dies.
Yeah, yeah. I think his character was cool because it kind of subverted expectations. Because he was avenging his sister who was raped and murdered, and he's gonna beat the mountain or whatever. He's gonna beat his ass into the ground.
He beat him.
He got cocky, and then he got caught
Yeah.
slipping.
Yep.
So you don't celebrate too early, and that's what he taught. I think if anybody learned anything from the Game of Thrones, it's don't fucking celebrate too early because somebody may reach up and crush your goddamn head in.
Yeah, because I have HBO. I was telling you, like I've been slamming out Game of Thrones. I'm pretty much at the last season, and I'm gonna go ahead and skip it. And I started to rewatch and actually watch the spinoff.
The spin-off show is pretty good. Yeah, I think there's 2 seasons out now.
Yeah, I thought I watched a lot more, but I don't even think I finished the first episode when I first watched it. But yeah, it's crazy. I think I'm on episode 6 or 7 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, my wife and I was looking at each other last night, like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, if you okay.
So you mean the new one called what is it called? Circle of Fire or some shit?
No, it's House of Dragons.
House of the Dragon.
It's about the Targaryens. I think it's called House of Dragons.
Yeah, I think it's House of the Dragon, but yeah, same thing. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's why I've been slamming that out, and it's been worth getting HBO. Now I got to cancel HBO. Now that I'm thinking about it,
because you're almost done.
The season's already over.
Well, I think there's 2 seasons of House of the Dragon out right now, right?
True. I mean, the only reason why I got HBO was because of The Last of Us. And the funny thing is, I turned around and season finale was last week. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, I guess I could cancel HBO now, but
yeah.
I think I might finish out House of the Dragon or whatever and then cancel it.
You should probably finish out the Game of Thrones show. I mean, you said you stopped on season 7?
Yes. I mean, I've watched it fully like 3 times already.
Oh, you don't need it. Yeah, there's no reason.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, the funny thing is, the last time I watched it is when my daughter was born, and I was home for those 2 weeks.
So you just binge watched it.
Oh yeah, I was the night crew.
She got exposed to the nasty adult content.
That's why she's so psycho. It was that and traveling vlog where this dude went to Africa and lived in the oh shit, what's it called?
Yurt.
A
hut.
Yes, but it's like the place, like the. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
The
like
savannah.
Yeah, kind of like the savannah, but it's called something. It's a similar name like that. I went to
the Serengeti.
Serengeti, somewhere. It was something like that. It was like oh shit.
The
he was like with the tribe.
Yeah. Okay. And he was learning all about their customs and stuff, and he had to eat like root pulp or tree bark. He had to like lick the frog and go on a spirit journey and shit, probably.
One episode, he went to the market to buy a goat, and that was like half the episode. And it's funny because the tribe, they don't eat in front of the women. So the women aren't allowed to see them eat.
So do the women eat, I hope?
Well, they eat, but they have to like hide behind a rock. So they bought a goat, and then they bought like a slab of meat where they cooked it in like the fire, and then like literally they huddled around the meat like in a circle. The elder cut slices of meat and just passed it around. And so you would take a slice of meat, pass it, almost like sharing a joint. You know, you take a hit, pass it, and the female, who's actually an American, it's the reason why the travel vlog dude knew, they were there. She's actually American, so she hid behind like a rock or something while they ate. And then they took the goat back to the village and did like a ancestral sacrifice. It really wasn't religious, I don't think, but it was like a quote unquote like ancient ceremony.
Wow.
Where they sacrificed the goat.
Mm-hmm.
They ripped all of its innards and fat and all its shit out. They dried half of it in the sun, and then they took all the fat and boiled it.
Oh, they made
in
some
like
like
this.
pork rinds out of it, some chicharrones.
It was like a soup, but it was like a super heavy, thick soup of just like the fat / I think it was the innards or something like that. And then you had to drink it for like healing purposes or whatever. So this dude was just slobbing down this big old fucking bowl of fucking fat and goop.
Some schmoo.
Anyway, it was pretty awesome. It was like 5 or 6 like hour and a half long episodes. That was pretty cool.
Kind of like Naked and Afraid, or one of those
Mhm.
survival shows where they got to live on the island.
Exactly.
Cool. Sweet. Nice. Well, I mean, I'm just happy I got through The Last of Us without puking, I guess.
It was bad. I mean, the game was dog shit. It was
The second
so
game.
bad, man. The second game was so bad.
Yeah, so like
in the beginning, I didn't like it.
So, I don't want to speak for you or whatever, but we can kind of both agree as a starting point. The first game is an absolute masterpiece, maybe possibly the greatest game ever made. The second game is a steaming pile of dog shit that is quite possibly maybe the worst game ever made.
Yes.
Yes, we agree on something. Sweet. Yeah. So, and then the show also, the first season kind of good, but the second season also very, very bad.
The first season, there was like 2 episodes that were complete dog shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of writing problems, but then there was like 2 episodes that were like golden. About 2 or 3 episodes that were like really good.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool. That's nice. So it kind of gave me hope. I don't know. But it ended okay. But then the second season, it started off the same way as the first one did. Where I watched a little bit of the after like BTS or whatever.
Yeah.
And the dudes were like, "Hey, I was walking into work and I had this thought to change this completely, change the story to be completely different."
Yeah.
And I pitched it and I said that was a great idea.
And everybody in
that was great.
Everybody in the room was just like, yeah. And that's them like sucking on each other.
Yeah, and so it was like every episode there's dumbass decisions. Like, I don't give a shit about the townsfolk. I don't care about the therapist or the bigot sandwich guy.
Yeah.
Or the Asian doctor lady. You're going to give them 15 minutes at the start of an episode or in the middle of an episode
to set up spores that you absolutely told the audience in the first season they're not going to do spores.
Like or just set up nothing. It's like, who cares? I don't care about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what was the deal with these side characters getting so much screen time? Did they just have to feel like 3 hours at the end of the season? Like, oh shit, like we couldn't write enough for 3 more seasons that we're totally going to get from HBO. Let's throw in side characters.
I don't know, man. I don't know what their thinking is. I don't know why. And they even said it in the behind the scenes. They said they wanted to give more of a voice to all these side characters that they didn't get to explore in the video games. I'm sorry, fuckface, but if they were important, they would have been in the goddamn video games. The video games sold a lot. Last of Us 2 wasn't a failure, but it sold way less than the first game. There's a reason for that. That's because the writing was dog shit compared to the first game. There was actually smart people orchestrating the story and the character and the plot direction in the first game. Neil Druckmann wasn't a major player in the first video game's writing. The lady that left, I forget her name now, but she was the one kind of in charge of all the Uncharted games, and they were great, super big sellers. She left, and then Neil Druckmann took over the franchise and made the second game, and it sold way less than the first one did. So why these people in the show are so pretentious to think that they can take the original source material and they can somehow make it better when they transmogrify it into the film medium. It's just beyond me. Like, is it hubris? Are they intoxicated on their own farts where they're just constantly sniffing each other, and the toxic positivity where everything that they produce in the room, they just tell each other, yeah, they just pump each other up. That's such a great idea. I'm so glad you came up with that. Let's absolutely turn all of these characters into something different. I don't know, man. I don't know what the answer is.
I don't know. And I wonder if they know they wasted a lot of people's time in energy and money.
Well, I think
I wonder if HBO knows that, if they're telling them like, hey, that was bad.
they know now. I think they have a clear understanding now. Because the show, like, they see the viewership. Reports are saying that they lost the show from the first episode of the season to the last episode. They lost over 50% of their viewers.
The last?
Yeah.
Of us?
The
Sorry.
last. Yeah. The last. You took it from everyone.
You took it from everyone. Shit.
Joel,
Dude,
I
I
don't
replayed
need
that
your-
like 80 times, bro.
I don't need your fucking help.
You took it from everyone.
It's
Oh
just-
my god, who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
What does it matter to you?
This world
you,
is-
I mean, you lived what 12 years without being the one, and for like 2 months you was quote unquote the one, the chosen one, and then now you're not. It was literally like 10 seconds. It was like a summer of your life.
Yeah.
Get the fuck over it.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective. I haven't heard anybody say that. I really like that. Ellie didn't know she was anything special until she got bit in the arcade in the mall or whatever, and then from that point to when Joel tells her the big lie, that that was literally only like 6 months of her life, huh?
True, and I think in the game she said it was only 2 weeks until she met Tess and them.
Yeah,
So it was, you know what I mean?
But they travel from wherever the fuck it was all the way to Seattle, right? And
True.
so that's like 6 months.
How can you mass produce vaccines?
Oh, okay.
If they ripped her fucking brain out,
Mm.
they
So-
get a cure.
Mhm.
Are you mass producing vaccines? You're not putting it in a tablet.
Hey, here's a question. Like, before we answer that, here's the question. What does the vaccine do? Does it just keep you from turning if you get bit? Does it keep you from turning if you breathe in the spores? I mean,
I think the idea is you will be like Ellie. You
Okay.
could get bit, and
So-
you could breathe spores,
okay.
and you could cut people
You can cut people. What do you mean you can cut people?
with knives. That's
Oh.
your thing.
Oh, okay. So, but I mean, it's not going to save anybody from getting their throat ripped out by a bloater, right? It's not going to save anybody from getting torn to pieces by the Rat King thing in the bottom of the, you know what I mean? So people are physically still going to be vulnerable to all of the, what I'm saying is all the fungus zombies out there, there's no cure for them. The cure isn't going to take those fungus things and turn them back into humans, right?
I get it, but I get the point of it's a starting point. It's the foundation.
Sure.
You gotta. What's the root cause? The root cause is people turn into zombies. Well, if you stop people turning into zombies, then at least you got a starting point. So I get that.
Yeah.
And it's not that big a deal to the whole grand scheme of things.
Sure.
But in the second game, the whole point is
Yes.
that she is a shitty person now.
Yeah,
And
well-
now you want to be a shitty person?
Well-
like, what the fuck?
I don't think in the second game she was a shitty person. I think the show made Ellie, the character, an absolute shitty, selfish, insufferable fucking retard. She's really fucking stupid. It's almost
I think
character
the game did that
assassination,
too.
huh?
I think the game did that too. I mean, maybe if they swamped the story around a little bit, it was pretty funny how they pretty much showed you the end of the game in the beginning of the series.
Yeah, so they did that because they were afraid the audience just wouldn't get it. That Abby came all this way to kill Joel because Joel killed her father, who was so important, right? So they said that the audience is so stupid that we have to tell them who Abby is in the beginning. But the writing, way back when they did the second game, they stood on business back then, saying it was a smart decision not to reveal Abby's intentions until halfway through the game. So it's like anything that they do in the show to change the source material is basically admitting that they were wrong when they wrote the second game. You know what I mean?
I mean, I kind of figured that was Abby's thing. I guess I didn't. Maybe I'm forgetting, but I didn't think it was like a mystery of why
I think
she was there.
I don't remember.
I mean, it was when you first started playing with her, but after she killed him, then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think they say it in the game. I think they tell you why Abby kills Joel in the game. But I think behind the scenes, they said they wanted to tell the audience up from the very jump of the season. Before they didn't want to wait till Joel is he gets the club, which is only one episode literally away. So it's just, I don't know, dude. I think the writers are just, I think they're just stupid. I really think they're
so
stupid.
too. And I'm cool with Joel dying. I get it. But just give us more time, I guess. Like, that's what the wives thought. The wife thought they were either not going to kill him or they're going to wait like more than 2 episodes.
So I think it's a tough nut to crack. Okay, so the whole story hinges on Joel being basically killed. What they could have done instead was that he's attacked and maybe he's beaten within an inch of his life and he's not quite dead, but they don't get him. They could have done that, but they didn't. So basically the entire story of the second game, and thus the TV show, pretty much hinges on the fact that Joel is killed early on in the game, and that's kind of what catalyzes or triggers the rest of the events in the story to happen, or allow those things to start taking place. If we were to take that off of the table and say that Joel lives to the end of the story and maybe dies at the end, saving Ellie for another time or something, then that completely changes the entire story. It's a completely different story at that point, right? I personally think that they shouldn't have fucking killed Joel in the beginning, but here we are. I mean, they decided to do that. So I think it's a fucking mess, man. I think it was a poor decision to do that.
I mean, I think they wanted to have that point, that super duper emotional, like stake to the heart, Joel dies. You know what I mean? I get it. Maybe it could have been done in a different way. Why is Dina there? That was stupid. That was a stupid change.
Why did they change it from the game?
Yeah, exactly. That was dumb. Why does she love Joel? Hey, you're not the only one who loves Joel. Says who? Was he fucking finger banging you or something? Why do you give a shit about him?
Yeah, dude,
that made no sense.
That would actually make a lot of sense. I mean, Dina's, chilling with Jesse. Ellie has to ask her, is it even Jesse's baby at one point? Ellie's going to be a dad somehow. I mean, fuck. She gets those funky Seattle greasy, sweaty fingers down her pants, like immediately after finding out Ellie's immune. I mean, maybe she was banging Joel. Who knows?
Who knows? But it's like, that makes no fucking sense.
It doesn't make any sense. So basically, the writers, what the writers have done is assassinate Ellie's character in the show and gave all the positive traits from Ellie and gave them to Dina for some fucking reason.
And Dina, the actress, was pretty good. I thought because I hated Dina in the game. I absolutely hate her. It was early on. I was like, this character sucks.
Sure.
I don't want anything to do with her. Her voice actress sucks. The story sucks with her in it. Go away, please.
Go away, but sure. I felt the same way. Yeah.
But then the show, it's like, okay, well, she's kind of cute, and she did the role justice way more than the character deserved, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. I'm really afraid that the writers, I think what they did. So I know we're all over the place. We're talking about games. We're talking about the last of the season, the beginning of the season. We're all over the place. There's no structure to this, but I just want to say, I think what the writers did, they want to trick the audience into thinking they had a plan. This is what I think they did. Ellie, at one point in the recent episode, she gets pissed off at Jesse that they won't save this random Scar dude, right, who's going to get murdered. even though it's
Stupid.
like it's 6. It was stupid. So Ellie she's like passionately she wants to go save this guy. Like exactly 5 business minutes later, she will absolutely leave Jesse and Tommy to go die at the wolves, at the hands of the wolves, gunfire, because she thinks Abby's at the marina, right? So,
Yeah.
like, who is her community? She sits there and preaches to Jesse that her community got clubbed to death, and she cares so much about the one boy Scar, she's willing to sacrifice Jesse. They've got a pregnant Dina back at the lab with a fucking arrow wound in the knee or whatever. She was an adventurer like them until she took an arrow to the knee. And she's willing to sacrifice Jesse and herself for this random young Scar motherfucker, and then turns right around and tells Jesse to fuck off and kick rocks. So I say that real quick. 2 separate things. To say, I think the writers, I think they shot every fucking scene 5 different ways, and then just let the editors figure out how to stitch some bullshit together. That's the only thing that makes sense, dude. Like, they said, okay, now you, Dina, you're the one that has the map and tells Ellie what we're gonna do. Okay, let's reset. Ellie, you're the one now behind the map. You're gonna tell Ellie how to. You're gonna tell Dina how to triangulate shit. And they just did it 9 different fucking ways, man, and just decided to go with it. And that's the reason why it feels like it's all over the fucking place.
Yeah, they said during the BTS that Scar scene was something that just randomly popped in their head, and they just added it. And it shows, because that made no sense, like you're saying.
And then, yeah, and like fucking Ellie is in the boat, right? And she's like, it's raining and storming, and she's fighting the waves to get over to the marina, which is just like a hop, skip, and a jump across the bay. And then she's like, oh, a capsize, gotta swim over. My boat arrived at the same time I did to this island. We're gonna go on a quick little adventure and almost get massacred, but I get saved by the bell, and then she's back in the boat and goes straight back to the marina. It's like a little fucking side quest. It's so stupid, man.
And she has 80 pounds worth of gear on and guns and shit.
Yeah, and she doesn't sink.
Go ahead, swim to shore. What?
Dude. This fucking showed, man. And then they choose for it to be only 7 episodes long when it probably was actually filmed to be like 12. I don't know, man.
It made no sense. Here's the thing. I don't know if you want to edit this out.
No, lay it on me.
Edit. They took out that Dina was Jewish.
I don't know why.
They did that on purpose?
Dude, fucking Neil Druckmann said repeatedly that the fight between the wolves and the Scars was his commentary on the Israel-Palestine fucking ongoing conflict. And it's like, how? What are you fucking talking about? Neil Druckmann himself is an Israelite. Really? Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he said it in the behind the scenes. He said it in interviews.
What?
Yeah, he said it in interviews.
I did not know that, because there's a whole scene where you go to a synagogue and she straight up was like, I'm Jewish, and what Jewish means to... And it was like really shitty voice acting, right?
Oh, this was in the game.
The game. The one thing The Last of Us can't be is shitty voice acting.
Right.
Total dog shit voice acting the second game had. The only good ones was Tommy and Asian guy.
Jesse.
They're the only 2 good voice actors the whole time. And they took that out, and I just wanted to kind of throw that in because no one's really talking about it. I don't know if it's that big a deal.
I just don't. I mean, maybe because they cast Isabella Marced or whatever her name is, and she is Italian or whatever. Maybe she's some sort of flavor of Spanish. I don't know, but I think she's like heavily Italian, and I just don't think. Maybe for some reason she doesn't really pass as Jewish. How the fuck would I know? I got no idea. But I think this is a case of maybe the casting had to influence the writing, and they just kind of like downplayed the whole origins, of the original character.
It just bugged me that I kept waiting for it to be like, I'm a Jew, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit either way.
I don't care either, but I wondered if the conflict kind of, you know what I mean, like mess with the story a little bit, or if they were gonna like bring it out or do something. Like I don't know, and because who is Dina? Why is she there? Why is she important? You know, she gets pregnant. Okay, cool. That makes sense. That was supposed to be like a big twist, but it really wasn't. Maybe because I kind of saw it coming. It really wasn't like a big thing in the game, or
Yeah,
excuse me, in the show.
yeah. I don't know, dude. I really don't know why they have the decisions that they. I have an imagination, so I can imagine a bunch of different scenarios as to why something wound up the way it was, but forgive that doesn't forgive them dumbing down characters, assassinating characters, trying to trick the audience into hating certain characters or whatever. It doesn't justify any of that. It's bad storytelling. They're doing a bad job, and I think the ratings prove that. I think the majority of people. So the visuals. So I should have said this in the beginning, but here's something real quick I wanted to mention. I've discovered this about myself: is I'll consume a piece of media and I'll immediately start talking bad shit about it. What I need to say up front is assume I love everything about it. Assume I love the story and the characters and the visuals and the art direction and the sound. And if I said that twice, I'm sorry, but just assume the cinematography and everything. Assume I love it. Now let me tell you about the things I have a problem with. So, unfortunately, in this show, the only thing I really love is the visuals. Like pretty much everything looks great. I mean, even Bella Ramsey's face isn't that bad to look at in the show. Some people will argue with me about that, but I don't think her not looking conventionally pretty it's not a big deal to me. That's not what's important to Ellie as a character. But I think the lush environments, the set is all beautiful. The cinematography, the way they're shooting it, the editing of the visuals is all great. I think you'll agree with me. It's literally just the writing and mostly the fucking delivery from the actors is all absolute horseshit.
Yeah, I thought Bella looked bad. Like the more I watched the show, the more it kind of bugged me. It kind of really took me out every time I saw her face. She just looks like a 10-year-old. She's running around doing non-10-year-old things.
Yeah, she doesn't really.
Yeah, it's almost like she de-aged. You know what I mean?
She aged. She's Benjamin Buttoned.
Exactly.
She aged in reverse.
And you see all these comparisons to Ellie in the show. You know, she's taller, she's lankier.
In the game,
in the game, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Bella is like 4 foot nothing, and she's kind of like she chubby almost. She almost looks like Mallow from Super Mario RPG.
Yeah, yeah. She's kind of built like a rock biter or something, and that's too bad.
And it really took me. I didn't take her serious at all. Maybe they thought she was going to grow. I mean, I don't know. How old is she?
I think I don't know how old she is. I can find out. But she was born. Where's the bio at here? Hold on.
After 9/11.
Yeah, she was born 2003, so she's like 22 years old.
I mean, that's old enough, but I'm just that was one of the first castings that the wife and I were like, yeah, it's her, because again, big Game of Thrones fan.
But
I loved her in Game of Thrones.
You know, she's fine in Game of Thrones, but literally she doesn't do anything. So I've made the comparison before. People, I think I even told you this recently. Bane from Batman.
Yeah.
Like people dick ride Tom Hardy for playing Bane in Batman, but dude, he is literally nothing special. The guy who used the camera, they shot him up from a downward angle to make him look bigger. They used shadows, and he's literally nothing special. He doesn't have a physique that's turbo impressive. He's not that fucking tall. He's not a huge dude. And we're talking about Bane here. The character in the comic book and in the cartoon is like Andre the Giant big. He's fucking gigantic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's supposed to be gigantic. And
I never
and then they put
seen that.
You never seen Batman?
No, not that one. I've seen this. I thought it was the first one, but I guess I only saw the second one.
Yeah. So And then he's got a mask on his face the whole time, so you can't really even see his face. He's just like acting with his eyebrows, and then he's got a silly voice, right? So he's got the silly voice that he does, and it's all in post. So they just grabbed the microphone, and he did it like 16 weeks after they filmed, and he just kind of did a silly voice, a little bit like Sean Connery in a way. And it's not that hard to do, and people dick ride Tom Hardy for this role. It's utterly ridiculous. So I don't know where I was going with that, but I was probably trying to link this back to The Last of Us in some way, where it's literally not that.
Ramsey in Game of Thrones.
In Game of Thrones, yeah,
I think it still does something. Like even if it's not that much, like at the time, at the moment, first exposure, I think it was something. At least for the Game of Thrones. Same thing with Oberyn. Same thing with Bella Ramsey. To me, it felt like something in the moment. Maybe after the 10th time we watched it, she was only in it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed when I rewatched it for the 4th time. It's like, oh yeah, she's in it literally for like 2 seconds. But at the time, like I said, at first exposure, you're like, whoa, this little kid's a queen, and oh, she's badass, and she's kind of a bitch. She's a girl boss. Okay, cool. At the time, and it's more like the community too. The community says, oh my gosh, she's awesome. And then you kind of follow along. So I kind of get that. Mm-hmm. But still, my point I think still stands is like we were super excited for her because of what we saw, because how impressed we were, because how cool the Game of Thrones was, and she was in the coolest scenes, like the King of the North. That whole scene was like badass. I think that was a season ender, right?
I don't remember.
I want to say
I remember when people thought she went out like a boss, and I kind of felt like she went out like a bitch because all she did was she ran and screamed at a troll, and it just squashed her to death.
Yeah, she went out like a bitch, and that episode fucking sucked.
And people thought that was awesome. I'm like, dude, what are you fucking smoking?
No, that was the beginning of the end for the last season, basically.
Yeah.
Of it being bad and everybody knowing it was bad.
Damn.
One sec.
Yeah.
Choking on coffee, but
sweet.
Yeah, I was excited for her, but it felt like now it's a bad choice. I mean, hell, I would have taken the chick that's playing Abby as Ellie. She kind of looks like Ellie more.
Yeah, Carolyn. Yeah, she does look that way, but like I said, I'm not trying to like beat you over the head with the whole looks doesn't make the casting. Like I'm really all about that. I've done a lot of soul searching on it, and the characters don't have to exactly look like the characters from the source material, whether it be a comic book or a book or a video game or whatever. But to answer your question, yes, Caitlin Dever, who was excellent in Justified, by the way. If you've never seen Justified, she's excellent in that show. She would have made an excellent Abby. That probably would have been. She's a hell of an actress. She's a way better actress than Bella Ramsey is. I can tell you that. Yeah, but yes, you're right. I agree with you. What do you think about her not having muscles?
That was nuts. Let me say this about The Last of Us 2, the game.
Lay it on me, dude.
It's almost insulting how silly the character of Abby is.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I mean, it's insane. She's like a gargantuan.
She is.
Hulking beast.
She's fucking gigantic, dude.
Is it a dude? Is it a trans? I don't know. Like, I thought it was a trans this whole time.
Dude.
Even when she was getting backshotted, it looked like she had man boobs. Like, my tits are bigger than hers.
Yeah. I mean, it is unfortunate. I don't know why they decided to make the character that way. They could have just not done that. but they did. They full sent it with like Terminator muscles, you know, she's jacked on fucking steroids somehow in the post-apocalypse.
It's almost like putting Grimace in it. Like, look, it's Grimace. It's his purple blob guy, and that's the main character. Don't notice.
Don't notice. Yeah. This is a movie about zombies, and now we have aliens. There's an alien walking around solving problems. Scooby-Doo mysteries.
It's so bad and awkward, and it came out during that time, the quote-unquote woke bullshit.
Yeah,
And
there was a bunch
in
of
my
woke stuff.
head, it's like, okay, maybe this is a trans person. Am I ever going to get what am I trying to say? Like the final word. What is the final word on this character? Is it a female that is just so happened to be extremely jacked? Yes or no?
Yeah. Well,
Because I
if
never
you
got that.
if you were confused about that, or if you weren't satisfied, either way, however you so we start off the first game feels like a Stephen King novel in a lot of ways, where it's like the whole world. Here's the world. It's just as you know it. It's just a little bit different. But then there's this one little twist in the middle that is the story. It's this little twist that kind of catalyzes everything. So we don't have fungus zombies in this world that we live in, the real world, quote unquote, the real world. But if there were, maybe the little twist would be one person's immune, right? So that's the first game. So it's a lot like a Stephen King novel. The second game is like, okay, now on top of that, the main character is also lesbian. So a very small percentage of the population. So she's immune and she's also a lesbian. So what are the odds? She should probably buy a lotto ticket. And then you're playing the game and you're like, okay, fine. You know, I can suspend my disbelief. This is fine. And then the main other protagonist, which is also the bad guy until you're supposed to sympathize with her, is this gender confusing, like radically different feminine body type. Like it's the masculine, super masculine, basically a man, and kind of it toughs her way through everything. She punches things, you know, to solve her problems. And then you're like, okay, fuck, that's a little, you're pushing it. I'm kind of getting taken out of the story. Like it's not really working for me right now, but I'm gonna hang in there. And then, so like I said, I'd say all that to say this. And if you were confused or if you weren't satisfied with how weird that gets, then they fucking drop an actual trans character on you in the fucking last half of the game that you have to follow around with. And it's like, dude, get the fuck out of here with this shit. What's the fucking chances in the fungus zombie post-apocalypse? You're going to construct a story where there just so happens to be a lesbian who's immune, a gigantor steroid-taking woman who basically is a man, and a young child who is gender confused but is actually trans, and we need to support their identity. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, I guess I gotta replay the game because I don't get the whole trans kid thing.
You don't
I
remember
thought the
that
whole
at all?
thing- No, I thought the thing is you get to choose to be a hunter or a gatherer, and the kid wanted to be a hunter, but they were chosen to be a gatherer, and so that's why they wanted to change genders, right? Just so they could be a hunter.
No.
Or
well, okay.
Maybe.
So picture this. Picture this. You have a daughter who's a girl, and then your daughter tells you she wants to be a boy, and she wants to change her gender to be a boy. That's the character Lev in the game. The character is transgender.
I guess I didn't get that. I guess I didn't get that part. I get that they were trying to be the opposite or whatever, but I thought the whole reason was just because they wanted to be a hunter, not just because they thought they were in the wrong body or whatever.
No, it absolutely was that they were in the wrong body because they even like gender in the game in universe. They sit there and they have other characters call this character now a he and stuff, and it's just like,
okay. I think I was over the game by that point.
You were mentally checked out.
Yeah, 100%. Because any and every time Abby was on the screen, I was like, I hate my life.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it that much. I hated
it that much, dude. I hated it that much, dude. Who gives a shit about her dad? Her dad's frolicking in the fields with fucking giraffes and like
and saving zebras,
these dogs and shit. And it's like, what the fuck? What? That doesn't make any sense. Like your big bitch daughter, you fucking blowing animals in the field as you're a surgeon makes no sense.
Yeah. So what's his name? We'll say Doctor Number One. I forget his name.
Doctor Who Gives a Shit.
Doctor Who Gives a Shit. So, fuck, man, there's just so much to say, and it's all coming at me like at the same time. So, did he deserve to die? So Joel kills him, right? For all those people who may be listening, probably nobody. But In the big crux of the whole story is that Abby wants revenge because her daddy was a doctor, and the doctor was going to kill Ellie. Did I say that wrong? Abby, Ellie.
You did.
Yeah. So she's going to cut open Ellie, take Ellie's brains out, make a vaccine to cure humanity, which is fucking bullshit. It's not going to happen. And Joel finds out, so he fucking kills everybody, right? He shoots everybody or whatever, kills people, and rescues Ellie. And now Abby's all upset and brokenhearted, so she's going to go kill Joel. Where was I going with this?
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Who gives a shit? So what happens at the end of the second game? Can you reveal? Spoiler alert. Can you reveal?
Spoiler alert, she lets her go.
Yeah,
so kill Abby.
So at the very end of the second game, Ellie and Abby have a final face-off on the beach, right?
Yeah.
Epic, right? Woman on woman,
no, it's not epic. It's stupid.
It's real fucking dumb. So but they slug it out, right? They're fucking beating each other up, and then they get to a point where they're just like, you know what? You ain't worth a bullet. And they just kiss and make up. No, they don't kiss. They just go their separate ways. They forgive each other. It exhausts me, man. It really exhausts me because in the video game you play as Ellie in the beginning, and you cannot get from one sector of the video game to the next sector of the video game without murdering wolves or killing the Seraphites, which is the other folks, right? The Scars. Yeah. You can't do it. That's the game. You have shotgun and pistol and bow and arrow and knife and shank and fucking hatchet, and you have all these weapons you're carrying around. Molotov cocktails. You're fucking blowing motherfuckers up with tin can bombs and shit. So Ellie's going to tear ass across Seattle and Santa Monica or whatever second place they go to. And she's killing rattlers and killing fucking Scars. And these guys are getting dismembered and blown up and shit. And she's going to get to the final big bad and go, you know what? You're okay after all. You ain't worth it. It's fucking bullshit, man.
It is. And I forgot what exactly happened, but didn't Abby have the upper hand? Like, didn't Abby, choose not to kill Ellie?
I guess, but
I think, right?
But you play as Abby too, and Abby's killing all these motherfuckers in the game as well. It's the same thing. You play as Ellie.
I could have done without Abby and the Scars and Seattle. If you'd have taken that out of the game and I just had the first bit, I would have been happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just take out all of that, just gut it to the fucking core. I don't know.
I don't know either, dude. But it just really aggravates me when people say, "Well, you don't get it. You don't get it, Mr. Protodead." The fact that the story, the moral of the story is you got to end the cycle of violence. Okay, but Ellie thought it was so important to kill Abby that she killed 50 other motherfuckers in the way to get to Abby, only to say, "You know what? You ain't worth a bullet." I just think that is fucking cheap, and you have to have your whole head shoved up your own fucking ass for that to make sense. Because every other one of those motherfuckers, you're not telling me that those guys have people that care about them? They don't have people that want now revenge too?
It took it from everyone.
Yeah. You just stole it from everyone.
They took Joel's cool dude thing when Abby was gonna kill him. Mm-hmm. He's like, "All right, just get over it. Who do you screwed over? You know how many people I screwed over?"
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think he said much to her, and then he died.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the game doesn't make sense. Playing with Abby frustrated me. Being in Seattle was dumb. The going back to the the homestead and her having PTSD was kind of super depressing. It's like I'm already depressed playing this game, and now I gotta play through PTSD. And her leaving again was stupid. And then her coming back and the house is empty was dumb. And then her nasty ass fingers fucking playing the guitar was like, ew. They already did that in fucking Signs. But then I wrapped that all up to say 10 out of 10 because of Pearl Jam. The end.
The show or the game?
The show and the game.
Oh, 10 out of 10, absolutely.
Pearl Jam.
I can't wait for it to come out on DVD.
Fucking buy the box. Soundgarden.
So they chose an awesome Soundgarden or Audio Slave. Was it Soundgarden?
Soundgarden.
They chose an awesome Soundgarden song to close out the season finale, and I thought, how dare you?
I did too. Like, I'm violated. That's my song. That's my band. But it's Seattle. It's like, I mean, you can do Mother Love Bone.
Yeah, I tried to listen to some Mother Love Bone the other day, and I just couldn't get into it.
I don't think they were good, and the dude seemed like a fucking Poison knockoff or Motley Crue knockoff.
Yeah, I tried. I looked it up, and I tried to listen to it. I just couldn't get into it, man. Call me old.
It is pretty awkward when Vedder tries to fucking sing it. It's like,
when he sings it like in concert.
Yeah, it's like, that's kind of awkward, isn't it? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, man. Give it up, Eddie. It's too long ago.
No, but it's like he's the dude who replaced the dude.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's singing the dude's shit.
Yeah, but Mother Love Bone like broke up, and the remnants of that band formed in a Pearl Jam.
Yeah, exactly. They broke up because Andrew Wood OD'd.
What a loser. Is he still alive?
OD'd.
Well, I mean, you can OD and survive.
No, he died. That was the whole crux of Pearl Jam, is that he overdosed. He was living with fucking Chris Cornell.
Even after he died?
Overdosed. Yeah.
He was just like...
I think he found him.
He was just like on the couch for weeks. And they were like...
And the cat eating his face like fucking Lane Staley.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Damn it. Rest in peace, Lane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I don't think the vaccine would have worked. So in the first game, not to try to derail the conversation. So in the first game, I'm pretty sure there's some recordings and stuff where they, like, even the Fireflies themselves admit that it's a long shot and it's unprecedented, and it's just like, only if, like, in the world, you know, like when you cook up a scheme inside your head and you think, man, only if the stars align, some things will work out. Maybe I'll become a rock star myself or whatever. I think there was a recording or two kind of admitting to the audience, the players of the game, that basically there was little to no hope that this would even actually work, but the Fireflies were willing to slice a 14-year-old girl's head open to do it. Is that right?
I get that part. In my opinion, like, I'm at peace with that. I get that the Fireflies wanted a vaccine. I kind of get that there were doctors sophisticated enough to do it. 20 years after the fucking fall of humanity or whatever. And I get that they were going to try it and do their best, because it's like that. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, you can't stop progress.
I'm all good with that.
Yeah,
I'm good with that. The one thing I'm not good at is the dude being fucking kittens and rainbows. That's the only thing I'm not good with. That's where it goes too far. Like, hey, this guy, not only was he about to save humanity, but he was fucking Jesus Returns. He's a super nice, cool, awesome dude.
He was the best dad.
Oh yeah, he got all the steroids for his daughter that she ever wanted.
Right.
He knew how to inject her in the butt
to make sure that her muscles grew big and strong up top.
Yeah, I mean, he was so great. Dr. Doolittle, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, well, I think I draw the line a little bit. I don't know if it's earlier than that or later than that, kind of depending on where you're standing, I guess. But I firmly don't believe that they were capable of really crafting anything meaningful out of Ellie's brain. I don't. If they did, they would have only had it for their group probably, and only been able to disperse immunities like within the Fireflies, and maybe later the Fireflies would have became a larger entity, kind of like Fedra was, or whatever, and maybe it would have spread from there, and then humanity would have been saved. But I told you a long time ago. You let me borrow the game, and I played it. I told you a long time ago after the
did?
Yeah. And when the credits rolled, I told you, I said, well, you know, Joel killed all those people and he saved Ellie. At the very least, she can have biological children, and likely the hope is that they'll be immune. And then the DLC came out. And I was like, well, fuck.
I remember that text. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this dude texting me? I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, it was only 10 years ago.
Yeah, because I remember waiting way too long to play the actual game.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I just never played it. And then when I did play it, I waited again way too long to actually play the DLC and beat it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I get it. I get.
She's a lesbian.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, sure. No, I just kind of felt like that was a fine adventure to take my little brain on, because, you know, like I said, I participated in the story by thinking to myself, they don't say it in the game, they don't spoon feed it to you, the audience, saying she can have children and maybe that's the hope for humanity, is that her children will be immune, and then that will, hopefully, if they stay alive, that will spread throughout, like herd immunity, like the fucking bullshit they told us about COVID. Oh, this will get taken down from YouTube because I mentioned COVID. Oh no, scary. But then they take it, like I participated in the story by thinking that, and then they fucking squashed it when the DLC came out and basically told us that ain't gonna happen because she's a lesbian. And I thought that was okay, because it's kind of like the bad ending in every Stephen King novel when you read it. Like, it never ends happy. So I was like, that makes sense. That's cool. I'm cool with that. And then they made the second game, and it just, like, I feel like the second game was like they treated me like a puppy dog. And the writers of the second season too, they treated me like a puppy dog and then like rubbed my nose in the shit. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen that? Your parents do that?
Yeah.
Like when the dog shits on the carpet and they take the puppy dog and rub it in its own shit.
Yeah.
To try to like treat the dog not to shit on the carpet. But in this scenario, the writers are the one who diarrheaed it on the carpet. And I'm not the one, but they're rubbing my nose in their shit. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I guess I didn't get the whole she could have kids and be immune thing. In the DLC,
well,
I will say this: the it made it worth the bullshit, and like just like the DLC type gameplay is when you get to the helicopter and it falls and all this crazy shit happens, but then boom, there's the med kit and she fucking hugs it like, yes. I mean, that made me like super emotional. Like, oh shit, like everything she just did, like this is the vaccine.
Right.
This fucking med kit to her is as important as a fucking vaccine.
Right.
Because that's going to save her quote unquote dad or whatever.
Right.
Like, that to me was like, whoa. That was the reason why I played the DLC, and anyone should play the DLC. Other than that, it's like I will. It's like kind of like whatever.
Yeah. Well, the gameplay in the second game is phenomenal. The visuals, the sound, the AI, how intelligent the AI is, and like how they communicate and shit. The weapons, like the recoil and the dismemberment, all that stuff is top tier, dude. Even today, it's like really, really good.
I disagree. I mean, I don't know. I think it's nothing special. If you have a AAA game, is it going to look bad or play bad? Maybe I'm taking it for granted.
That's fine.
But it's like, what game do you load up and it just kind of looks bad? I mean, to me, it didn't look anything amazing, and the gameplay wasn't anything amazing. It was just like a longer version of the first game, and like I said, the voice acting was dog shit. So I didn't think it sounded good. Maybe the blood and guts and shit. Maybe I'm just not remembering it. Maybe that was cool, but I was not impressed with any one aspect of the game.
Yeah, damn.
In my opinion.
That's fine. No, I respect your opinion. No, that's cool. I personally, yeah, I think really the worst part of it all was it's just the writing. It's literally just their decisions in the writing room to construct the story the things that they do in crafting these characters and the way they contrive the plot points to try to like manipulate these characters into try to tricking the audience into feeling certain ways and stuff. It's just way too constructed. It's way too like building Lego blocks, like trying to make a Lego city in a way, you know. It's not very natural. It's not believable. I think it's quite contrived, and it's all about sending a message. And I think the message is like it's a woke. A lot of it is a woke message, and some people won't want to hear that, but I think that's what it is, man.
Yeah. I agree. Game suck, show suck. The end.
That's it.
Program.
Soundgarden.
Dragon Spore. Or Dragon whatever.
I don't have any idea, but what do you
Soundgarden.
think? I don't remember. Is that the name of the song?
It's a Alamory, or what is that?
Allegory?
Yeah.
What'd you think of the zombie like attack on Jackson in the second episode when Joel was getting his head beat in with the club?
I thought it was whatever. I mean, I thought the actress who played Tommy's wife was not it. I thought she acted very bad.
Mm-hmm.
She was like a bad actor. She almost seemed like she was like a person off the street that kind of walked in and they stuck a camera in the face. She just kind of looked awkward, sounded awkward, acted awkward. And that's supposed to be the opposite of the character. She's supposed to be boss bitch, which I get. I actually like that character because I know females who are like that, who are like the boss bitch, wears the pants.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking husband is the woman, quote unquote, you know what I mean? Which is that whole relationship she has with Tommy, being the leaders of the town. She's still numero uno, which I get, but that actress just did not do it at all. She sucked. And all the side characters, again, the therapist, the bigot sandwich guy,
Mm-hmm.
everyone else, it's like, I don't care about them. Like, why are we spending time at this? And then they didn't show the community at all after that too. So it was like that was a big waste of time.
I think so, man. I really do too. They put too much emphasis on these side characters. They wasted time. They could have made the shows, both seasons of the show, 12 episodes long, and gave us a better fleshed out story with the main characters. But instead, they decided to cut a bunch of shit and then give screen time to these side characters that go nowhere, that give us nothing but exposition. It was exposition heavy. Instead of showing us things, they had two characters sitting in a room telling us about shit that happened. And that's what in the biz they say tell instead of showing. They're supposed to be striving for showing us and not telling us, because the telling us is fucking boring. Nobody wants that. Show us the action. Show us the characters either being strong or being vulnerable or being flawed or whatever it is. Don't tell us that the characters are great, or don't tell us that the characters, are fucking up. Show us the characters fucking up. It's fucking lazy and cheap.
Yeah, I've heard people say like, "Oh, that was a really cool scene, and I liked it, and this and that." And I'm like, maybe I'm just too fucking negative. I'm just like, that was whatever.
I don't know.
You knew Tommy wasn't going to die.
Yeah.
If everybody else dies, it's like whatever. You're not going to see Jackson again.
I think Bella.
And no one would voted to go kill these people in Seattle. That whole part is stupid. Who would vote?
It's all that all was dumb. It all needed to be chopped out of there. It didn't need to be in the show at all. It should have showed an epic gear up session of Tommy, like getting his shit together and putting on fucking camo on his face and marching out into the wilderness to go kick ass. But it didn't. Instead, it showed us people in a room having a committee, which is just bullshit.
Yeah, that whole scene was just it made you feel embarrassed for the people who made the show, and even the BTS when they're trying to explain it away. That's the only reason why I watch the BTS, not to get more entertainment, is to see them choke on dick when they
Yeah.
say, "Yes, we wanted everybody to have a voice, and this is what people really would do."
And that's
It's
the reason.
no.
That's the reason why we had a therapist, and the therapist in Jackson is actually the most important person of the whole community. Fuck you.
Dumb. Blow Eugene's head off. Yes.
Yeah. Who gives a shit? The whole Eugene thing was all crap. It was contrived. It was made up. It didn't make any sense. Basically, the whole thing was set up just to try to trick the audience into thinking Joel is a piece of shit, and it fooled the dumb people. Pedro Pascal, the best actor on the show, still mediocre in my book. He's still a 5 out of 10. He's not that great. But they character assassinated the character Joel, not Pedro Pascal, the actor. The show writers have decided they're going to make Ellie a selfish, stupid, incompetent piece of shit, and they wanted to make Joel a stupid, incompetent, selfish piece of worthless shit, and we, the audience, should fucking hate him. And I hate how they had every member of the community, anytime they interacted with Joel, they treated him like shit. Because basically what they're trying to do is trick the audience into thinking we need to treat him like shit. I hated it, dude.
Yeah, I thought the Eugene scene was the only Joel thing in the whole 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yes, he would have lied to the dude. Yes, he would have blew his fucking head off. And yes, he wouldn't have given 2 shits. He wouldn't even lose an ounce of fucking sleep, because that's who he is at the very, very core. You got to do whatever you got to do to survive. I mean, you got to think about it. This dude it insinuates, the first game and the first season insinuates that Joel sold people into slavery,
He tricked
did a bunch of
people.
naughty shit.
Yeah, he tricked people, robbed people, killed people
Exactly.
to take their stuff. He was a brigand.
Sold drugs, sold weapons, did all that shit. He knew all the slavers and the slave people's tricks. Why? Because he was one. Basically, it kind of basically leads you to believe that
Yes.
he fucked people up. And guess what? If Eugene got bit, oh yeah, sure, go ahead, go, stare at this bunny off in the distance. Plow.
Yeah, look at the flowers.
Yeah.
Walking Dead. No, that was a character assassination. That was the writers trying to make us not sympathetic to Joel anymore. It totally doesn't work.
I liked Joel after that. I liked him. I was like, yes, to me, maybe that's what they wanted to do, and yeah, people treated him like shit. But
you gotta remember the context of which I'm thinking about this is that they turn around immediately and have Ellie tattle on Joel, and they have her berate. Yeah, but she's a traitor to Joel, and then she berates him in front of people, and then people treat him like shit forevermore after that. So, what he should have done, probably, if the scenario had to replay again, I kind of feel like he should have just listened to Ellie. And there's just hear me out. In the first episode, the first season, Tess gets bit, right? And they establish in that first season it takes 2 days to turn into one of these zombies. So in the first, I'm pretty fucking sure they say that. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Tess gets bit and she says, "Hey." She basically told Joel that this is real. Ellie is immune. Look at Ellie's bite mark that's healed over. Ellie said that happened 2 months ago or whatever it was, or 3 weeks ago or whatever. And she said, look at my bite mark. It's only been an hour and look how bad it's gotten. So they say in that same moment that it takes like a day or 2 days to fully turn. So if that's still true, if that's still canon, then Eugene had a full 24 hours before he was due to get, turned into a zombie. So why didn't Joel just fucking escort him back to the place?
I don't know. In
okay, so
my opinion,
yeah, go ahead.
my opinion, it was like imminent. You
So-
have 3 hours,
Yeah.
not a couple of days.
Sure.
And even if he had a week, blow that motherfucker's head off. That's what Joel would have done. If he had a week, a month, without losing fucking sleep, Joel would have blew that dude's fucking head off. He would have not gotten what he wanted. It's not about what he wants.
Sure.
Joel is the fucking executioner, dude. He's the one that at the end of the day, quote unquote, the man
Yeah.
has to make those types of decisions.
I
The
agree.
leader, the men make a decision. Doesn't matter if people like it or not.
I agree.
That's the decision.
Yeah, man. I agree. I agree with you. I totally do. I really do. But if it's proven to the audience that it is absolutely imminent, then what Joel should have done was just say, cover your eyes, Ellie, divert your eyes or whatever, and then blam. It should have just been over that quick. But I just want to say real quick, he didn't do that to Tess. I know Tess is something special. Tess is a little different. But he didn't immediately put the gun on her and blow her brains out.
Well, she did.
She
killed herself, quote unquote. She made the decision.
She stayed behind.
She was strong, right? Yeah.
Eugene was still upright. He was still strong, but
he wasn't. He was weak. He's like, "Save me, please." He was being a pussy about it.
He was.
No, to me, Tess was like, "Hey, I'm dead, and I'm gonna go give you some time."
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna die now, not in a couple of days. If they did establish the couple of day thing,
yeah,
maybe I just not remembering it.
That's fine.
But he didn't have to make the decision. She made that decision for them.
Yeah, because Fedra was hot on their tail, and she was going to hold them up.
Yeah. So to me, that was kind of a different type of situation.
Yeah, you're right.
But oh fuck, I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh man, it was about Eugene and Joel character assassination. Tess, Fedra getting bit.
That's what it was. It was Joel has turned into a super controlling, like, helicopter parent.
Yeah.
And it's all about that. I get that, and I agree with it. And I thought that's another thing they did well in the show, is that they talked about, hey, Jesse was 16 when he went on patrols. I'm 16. Okay, cool. One day, 3 years later,
right?
She's doing the first patrol, and it's like baby's
first patrol.
Yeah, and that to me was done well, I thought, and I thought that could have been the story, in my opinion. Obviously, it's not going to be the story, and they took out the best part of that whole flashback sequence is the swimming. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but obviously in the first game, she can't swim,
right?
And so half the game is like swimming around with the board.
Yeah, getting a plank so she can cross.
And so in the second game, it's like, boom, he pushes her in. You're like, oh no, she's gonna die. No, she could swim. Okay, these characters have grown. It was like I think a unique way to show not only have they grown and they're older, but she could swim. Hey, look at that.
She's more experienced. She's more capable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. How about Ellie's extremely believable rage and vengeance that she wants to tear ass across Seattle to avenge Joel in the show?
The show, again, Bella takes me out of it.
Yeah, dude, she can't. She at no point does she ever feel like she is seething with a desire to execute motherfuckers. She's like her and Dina are like on a camping trip, and they're like finger fucking each other and talking about smoking weed and chilling out, and everything's a big fucking joke. It's so fucking stupid.
And she doesn't seem competent.
No, man, they made
Ellie seem incompetent.
They wrote her character to be basically the comic relief. Like, she's basically C-3PO and R2-D2. She is fucking stupid. They made her stupid.
And it's like, okay, what are you actually good at? If I was in the shit, I was like, oh fuck, I need to call up Proto because he knows how to fucking edit. Let me call this asshole up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are you gonna call up Ellie for? Like, oh shit, I gotta. I mean, what is she good at?
I need to get my pussy finger banged.
Exactly.
with some funky old fingers that hasn't been washed in 3 weeks.
Hey, when you're doing the deed, sometimes you just got to get with what you got. I get that.
when you got rocks to
I've
get
had some
off.
dirty fingers
I've been
in dirty
places.
places.
Yeah. I don't know, man. What is she good for? Maybe feeling self-righteous and like preaching to other people that they're not doing a good enough job when she herself is a fucking incompetent moron. I don't know. Like she kind of like
And
she gives it to Jesse. She gives because she gets on him when he starts talking about community and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, I guess I'm just a piece of shit, huh? You just fucking God's gift to women, Jesse." And she does the same thing to Joel, and it's just fucking terrible, man.
it kind of hurt them that they kind of set it up that Joel was being protective and that Ellie was super inexperienced. So what is her worth even in the community? She's basically nobody.
She's basically she's. It feels like in the community, all she is a mouth that takes up resources. What does she do? Does she go chop wood? Does she fucking skin animals or fucking anything? What does she do? You're right. What does she do?
Yeah, she's not important. She's not important enough for a story to be based on her. Abby's not real enough for a story to be based on her. And Dina is Jewish.
I don't even know if is that's not even special. Like what? Who cares? It doesn't make anybody special. Like their origin, where they came from. She can't choose her skin tone or ethnicity or whatever it is. So that doesn't make anybody special. I don't know, man. I don't know what Dina does. I mean, maybe in the show or in the game, maybe Dina like helps with the kids in school or something. I don't know. Like the first game opens up with like a snowball fight, right? With the kids.
Yeah.
So maybe maybe that's kind of loosely explained what their role is in the community, but the show doesn't have time to tell us that. So
Yeah, I mean, I thought Tommy and Jesse fucking carried the second game. The voice acting was good. They were cool. All the scenes they were in were really fucking cool.
yeah.
The whole sniping scene of Tommy, where you don't know if it's Tommy, but you kind of figure it's him, and he's like holding you down and shit. That was badass.
But you were playing as
And
Abby.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll see that in the next
Yes.
season, I guess, and hopefully they do Tommy justice and making him look good.
I think they shouldn't even do another. I honestly think they should just quit. They shouldn't do anymore.
No way.
Yeah.
They have to. They have to do one more.
I think they shouldn't do it. I think they should all be fired and a completely different crew is hired. Same actors, fine, but completely different. Everybody different, except for the people who built the sets and the guys who run the camera. Those guys stay because those are the only competent motherfuckers behind the scenes. Neil Druckmann needs to be fired and put in charge of the next Plants vs. Zombie game because he's not worth his weight. He fucking thinks Neil Druckmann thinks he's the next Kojima, and he's not, dude. He is absolutely not.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Then the next fucking Angry Birds, Neil Druckmann.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah, I'll give it like a fucking 2 out of 10.
The show?
Just because the set design was so amazing. The set, it's like all the time and effort and the fucking money that they spent to make it look exactly like the game. Like none of that shit was CGI. Really? Yeah. So we wanted to find a place that looked like the game. Well, you fucking did it. I mean,
Yeah.
they should win an Oscar or a Tony or whatever the fucking
Tony.
TV Choice Awards, MTV. I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
that shit was badass. For 2 minutes out of the show, you had like this badass place that y'all was running around in.
You're goddamn right, dude. You're goddamn right. The fucking absolutely. It's 100%. The 2 points out of 10 goes to the set creation and the guys who actually like framed the shots and fucking shot them. That's it.
And I bet if they redid the first season, that they could make it look 10 times better than they did in the first season.
Yeah.
I just don't think they had the choice. I don't think they had the chance, the opportunity.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, because you mentioned the COVID, filming around COVID and stuff. A lot of times I don't think about that because I really didn't give a shit. I kind of feel like it was, for me, it was all business as normal during those times because I lived far enough out or it didn't really affect me. Yeah. Hmm. Geez, did we leave anything out?
Uh, hopes for next season. I'll watch it. I'll get HBO again. I'll hate watch it and watch all the reviews, talk shit on it.
Yeah.
I doubt they'll change the leadership and the direction. I
No,
don't know
they
why they
won't.
would.
No, they won't.
I think if they decided to do that, they would do what you said, just shut it down and be like, never mind. I could have sworn I read something that said, oh, the viewership is just as good. Everyone's just talking shit. And then no, now at the end of at the end the season finale, there's all the articles and stuff saying how bad it is.
Yeah.
So you were right there. It just went way down.
Yeah, but because like you and I are not special in that way. We're not alone. There's so many other people that see the exact same things that we see, the same flaws that we see. Maybe they can't articulate it because they don't study movies and film like maybe we do, but they know something's wrong, they know something's off, they know that it's weak as fuck and lame as hell, and they will just tune out or they will give it a bad rating. And we see that. We can see their voice across the internet. The majority of the people say that this show is fucking dog water.
Now they know how I felt years ago playing that fucking game.
Oh man.
They don't know the half of it, dude.
Yeah, but I'm different from you in that way. I thought everything was great except for the story and, the writing and the characters and stuff. And he said nothing was good about it.
Nothing.
Except for Tommy's voice actor and Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about in the show, just real quick, I want to mention, how about like in the show how everybody that's in charge, like the boss, is always a woman? And if it is a man in charge, he's obviously selfish or a bad guy or white. Because he's bad. He's a bad guy, so he's got to be white. How about that?
I kind of said my piece about Tommy's wife. I get that. I'm at peace with that. If it was an actually good actress,
Yeah.
it wasn't. I didn't notice any of the other quote unquote bosses or anything, and I thought Isaac showed promise. I really like that actor.
Sure, I like him too.
Because he was
He was great in The Manchurian Candidate.
I didn't see that one.
Denzel Washington, pretty good.
Uh
No. He was a supporting. He wasn't Denzel Washington. He was anyway.
We don't all look the same.
No, that's not what I mean.
What's in your wallet?
What's in your wallet? It's not this. It's Jake Farm from State Farm guy.
Oh my god.
That's not what I was going with. No, I meant Liev Schreiber. Sorry, Liev Schreiber.
He was in To Kill a Mockingbird. No. What?
Who?
Catching Fire.
Yeah. Man on Fire.
Yes.
No. Yes, he was on Catching Fire. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And he played a cool character. And
yes.
I thought he was a good actor.
Yeah.
And so I was like really excited to see him as Isaac. Because Isaac in the game is dog shit. It's stupid. It makes no sense. He's in the game for 2 seconds. He's supposed to be like this super cool, badass military, the head. And then
he's
you don't even see him. You don't know what's going on. You get to the island and he dies in 2 seconds. You're like, that's it?
Yeah, and he's like, Abby's so special. She's got to be in charge.
Oh, yeah. She was to replace me. Why?
Well, yeah. You never showed us. Because she's just that goddamn good, you hear?
Because she beat me in an arm wrestling contest and she won it.
Yeah. Well, this is video game Ellie, where she's got these gigantic muscles. Yeah, dude. It's just show us these things. Show us why Abby is supposed to take over. They don't. Instead, they have 2 characters in a fucking room. Tell the audience that she's supposed to be so great. I hate it, dude. It's so lazy. It's so lazy.
She was going to replace me. I'm gonna die tonight.
Mm-hmm. And then the other lady in the room in the show was like, "So are you diddling her or something? You're not the first old guy to be after that young tail." Yeah, and I was like, "Throw up in my fucking mouth, Jesus Christ! Why is this bitch saying this stuff to us?"
I don't get it. I thought every scene he was in was pretty cool.
Yeah, sure. No, I agree.
I don't care about the white dude that's next to him that looks like a fucking petter ass. That guy looks creepy as shit.
Yeah, what is the point of that guy?
I don't know. He creeps me out. I
What?
guess if the point is he creeps you out and he's kind of like the Seraphite of the wolves. You know?
He's definitely like a
Okay.
yeah, he's definitely a Jeffrey Dahmer looking motherfucker. And to think about it, like in the show, they show us what that character's like, and he's only in the show for like a grand total of 77 seconds. But they show this character before Isaac turns him, and then it's like fast forward 5 years later, and then he's like psychopathic, hillbilly, Buffalo Bill motherfucker. I don't get it. Like he shows up again when I guess Ellie's freaking out about the young Scar getting taken away or whatever, right? The young boy, and there's and she's like, "Jesse, come on, we got to go save him." So that's like the only time that character pops up again, and it's like, who gives a shit? He's not doing anything. It literally could have been anybody else. It's just a fucking waste, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if the third season they make me like Abby just because the actress,
sure,
and the acting. Maybe the writing gets better. You barely saw Abby in the second season. That was kind of crazy to me.
Sure,
I thought they were going to get a little bit more miles out of her, but I guess they had to plan to just save it all to the third season.
Yeah, so
which is like, okay.
That's fine. That's fine. They want to do that, but how long is it going to be before we get it? Is it going to be a year? Is it going to be 6 months? Is it going to be like between the last season where it was like 3 years?
I would think they'd want to hit it hard and quick.
Well, you would think they would have already filmed it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just it's in post, and it's just going to be 6 months, 3 months before it's over. I don't know.
I have no idea. Maybe,
but there's going to be a fourth season, bro.
And I guess that's about after Seattle.
I guess
in the wrap up.
I guess. So tell me this, riddle me this, Batman. How come the first game, which is heralded as one of the greatest games ever made, gets one season that's only like 8 episodes long or 9 episodes long, and then they make the second game into 3 other seasons, which of course they're not going to be very long themselves, but still 3 fucking seasons for the second game?
The first game was short. The first game, in my opinion, is pretty short.
Sure.
And they added the DLC to it. So I mean, I couldn't see what they would do more with it.
They could have slowed some of that shit down and not just breezed over it so fast. But
I think that was fine. The pacing, I mean, they could have had a episode with Bill, with Ellie and Pedro. I don't know why they chose to do that. They made a whole fucking episode that had nothing to do with the game.
Because they wanted...
Okay, cool, get your awards, sure. But have an episode with Ellie and fucking Pedro.
They should have had more action-oriented scenes. The video game is action-oriented, and it feels like the writers of the show don't want to do any action. Instead, what they want is the characters sitting around in rooms talking about the action that's either happened to them a while back or they heard happen to other people. And I'm just sick of that, dude. If I wanted that, I'd read a fucking book.
And I might be going on a huge limb, but this is what I meant by the COVID thing. Because remember when they went to the university, they literally just got there, and there was like 2 dudes off in the distance. They're like, "Oh my god, we gotta run! Oh no!" It's like, it's 2 dudes. Right. And I'm thinking they couldn't have a big mob of people, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the point where I thought the first season kind of seemed jankety a little bit, and maybe it wasn't their fault. Maybe it was. I don't know. I thought they did what they could in the first season. By the end of it, I almost don't want them to do more of the first season because it's like I don't want you to ruin any more of the first season. You know, they already had 2 episodes with the downtown area with the death kid or whatever. I thought you could have honestly you could have put that into 1 episode. You didn't need 2 episodes because they would have done the stupid side character bullshit where they made up the whole town lady and her, her she's the boss. Which I guess is more boss girl shit, and her brother died or whatever. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like don't fuck up the first game by having a longer, shittier season. It's okay if you do it with the second game because I'm not gonna like it either way. I'm hate watching it, so
Yeah.
whatever.
Same. Um, what did you think about how in the show, instead of Ellie and company sneaking through building to building, kind of like you do in video games, getting through Seattle, instead, what they do is they walk out in the middle of the road in the big wide open and just talk loud as fuck about whatever's on their mind when they go from one area to another. Why?
I think Pearl Jam. That's why.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to see is them go to the record store and see a Pearl Jam poster. Other than that, I kind of zoned out.
Yeah. I think it's a really terrible writing. I don't know how lazy these, like, it must have just been clearance, man. They just couldn't be bothered to have a steady cam on a gimbal and a guy like creeping through holes and stuff backwards, following characters as they navigated through broken brick facade into the next building window. I don't know, man, but that's not how in a war-torn area when you're deep behind enemy lines and you're trying to sneak past enemy territory, you don't walk down Main Street in the big wide fucking open upright just like doing, la-di-da. It's really lazy. It's really stupid. They did it so many times in this show.
And it was all the times where you don't take Ellie serious.
Yeah, you're right. She's always saying some childish, stupid fucking shit. Yeah, dude.
Not good, dude.
Not good. Well, I want to reiterate. I've told you this before. I know you've heard it all before, but I just want to get it on record. The end of the first game, I just want to talk about how Joel goes through the building and kills all the folks, right?
Okay.
So, do you remember kind of how that happened? Can you set the scene for us a little bit?
They get to the state, have an accident, and so they're like rushing, and then they just get founded by the fireflies. Yeah. Ellie's passed out. They beat the shit out of Joel, knock him out. He wakes up to the news of, hey, you're done here. Goodbye. We're gonna kill Ellie. And then he's like, oh, that's not cool. And they walk him out, and then he fucking James Bond karate chops a dude. Sets up a torture scene, but then just says, fuck it. Blasts his ass.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, it's on like Donkey Kong. And in the show, they filmed it kind of like what you're saying. It was missing action. That fucking last episode, it would have been nice if they had like that 30% throughout the fucking season.
Yes.
Because that was badass. That whole I need to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, I do too.
The camera, the acting, the sound, how it was like muffled, and then every time he shot somebody and the dude walking, that was badass.
Yeah.
That was really done well. And I think they could have had more of that throughout the show. But that's what happened is he went full monkey mode and just killed everybody because they really meant less than bugs to him. The whole point was to get Ellie, his quote unquote new daughter, save her ass, and then get the hell out of there.
Right.
And clean up the mess. The decision to kill the already wounded, most likely going to die black lady. I forgot her name.
Marine, maybe.
Uh, uh, Marie or whoever.
I think her name was Maureen.
Marlene.
Marlene, yeah.
To put the final nail in the coffin. No, you just come after her. Boom.
Right.
One of the coolest fucking decisions ever.
Coldest. He's the coldest motherfucker, man. Because she's
that's a Eugene decision.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Eugene, I could let you go. You're going to die eventually anyways. You're not going to catch up to me. You know what? Boom, nail in the fucking coffin.
Yeah.
Make that fucking hard decision. Blast your brains out. I'm going to see your brains explode.
Yeah. Hard cut.
I don't give a fuck.
Hard cut to black.
Yes, that was awesome. And that decision, I high five, fist bump, elbow bump. I don't give a shit.
Maybe, yeah, right. Double high five, hug, kiss, maybe even.
Yeah. The people be damned, the doctors be damned,
yeah.
and the cure be damned.
Yeah, cure be damned, because like we play the game and we see these two characters, Ellie and Joel, at first apprehensive of each other, maybe antagonistic with each other. They don't really like each other, or maybe she likes him and he don't like her, and then it comes to a point where it's like they're going to be inseparable. They've risked their lives to save each other. They've been through some shit with some other groups of people that have put them through some torture, and they've come out the other side and they're close as can be. So that's where Joel's at when Ellie doesn't get the choice. Ellie's knocked unconscious. The goal was to get her there, but we're not ever told what's going to happen. We, the audience, Ellie's never told. She's not told, well, what we're going to do is we're going to kill you and then we're going to suck all of the cure out of your brains. You're going to die, and we're going to get the cure, and then we're going to fix humanity somehow. But then under the breath we say, but we probably really can't do that because we don't know what we're doing. So anyway, they tell Joel that, right? And so Ellie doesn't even know, but the writers want to pretend that Ellie would have chosen to die when she was never given the choice, so that it's real pretentious. It's real pretentious. But anyway, so Ellie's unconscious, and Joel kills a bunch of people to get to the operating room. And I was playing the video game, and I remember telling you this is exactly what happened. I was happy to karate, ninja, judo, James Bond chop the one guy in the throat, like you said earlier, and take his gun, kill the first guy, whatever, like kill these folks, all these, whoever, 20 people maybe, Fireflies, to get to the top floor, I guess, or whatever, where the operating room is. And then the scene is like Joel kicks the door in, and Ellie's on the bed, and she's in the operating table, all gussied up, they've got the apron around her and the iodine ointment around her head or whatever. And there's a doctor and two nurses, right? And do you remember what happens? Because you choose what happens. Do you remember what you did?
I don't. I remember that being very insignificant until I either played it another time or I saw other people play it. I didn't know that you could do like multiple things.
Yeah.
I think I just instinctively was like, okay, kill, take her, leave. Like,
right.
I thought that's kind of what you had to do.
So like in your mind, you played through that part of the game, but that part was no different than anything else. Like those doctors and nurses to you that was no different than the Fireflies in the floor below.
I didn't feel like I was making a decision.
Yeah. So I did, because they were unarmed. They weren't actively like coming after me, because like as soon as Joel kicks off the whole like I'm going to start fighting back thing, all of the Fireflies are now hostile to you, right? On site, they're going to try to do damage to you. That's a different world. That's a different mindset. That's a different world. They are the attackers, and I'm going to kill them before they kill me. Whenever I entered the room, I immediately saw these folks as they're just doing their job. They're just doing what they're told. These guys are no threat to me, but I will remove Ellie from this equation. But what I did was, so what I wanted to do was they don't need to die, right? That's the message. The doctor, the two nurses in scrubs don't need to die. But me playing the game, what happened was the revolver comes out and the doctor gets one in the chest and the nurses both get one too. And then I pick up Ellie and then I stop. I pause the game. I'm like, wait a minute. They don't need to die. I'll reload my save real quick. I reload it. I open the door. The doctor gets a shotgun and the nurses get the shotgun. I pause the game. Reload it. Then, they're not supposed to die. I can get through this. And then the knife comes out, and the doctor gets it in the neck, and the nurses get stabbed too, right? And I did this like 15 times, dude. And every time I did it, they were the nurses and the doctor. When I opened that door, they were not going to be alive anymore because they were going to cut Ellie's head open. They were not going to make it out alive, and that's just all there was to it. So, for the second game to try to pretend that I made the wrong decision, fuck them, dude.
Yeah, to me, there was like no humanity in it. It was just let and go. And like I said, I didn't realize later, like, oh, you could save him, or you could do something different, or okay.
I didn't even know you could let him live. I don't know if you can. I wanted to see that, but
I think you do. I think you can let him live.
I never saw it.
You just take him and leave, right?
Dude. I had a trigger finger, and as soon as I saw him, it was over. Like my higher level thinking said they needed to live, but primally they were gonna die.
And this is the thing that you were saying is show us, don't tell us.
Right.
Well, guess what? Ellie and Joel didn't say, "Man, you're awesome, dude. Fist bump. You're awesome too. Fist bump." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? I'm gay. I support you. No, I didn't do any of that. They had that tension of the hating, and then the slowly but surely, and then after like she almost got. I mean, you might have to censor this. Do you think she would have been fucking raped by that dude in the burning restaurant in the first game?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So
absolutely.
She almost got raped, and she didn't know, and maybe they don't specifically tell you that she's old enough to understand, but I think she understood that she was going to get raped and fucking killed.
Yeah.
And Joel stopped that shit.
Right.
And he knew.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know the whole story or anything.
But
he knew by
just her reaction. On the
ground who's older, a girl, her reaction and the voice acting was so amazing. He knew that he walked into a scene to where she was going to get raped and killed. And I had to console her. And he said, "It's okay, baby girl."
Yes.
And every time fucking baby girl comes up in the show, my wife goes, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
Because that's what he called his daughter in the first one. And so it's not asshole or punk ass kid.
Right.
Or fuck you.
Yes.
Or you're just a job to me. You're not my daughter.
Right.
No, it's now baby girl. And it's like an unsaid, from here on out, you are mine.
Right.
And you feel that. And that's the climax of the game is you are going for your baby girl. It's your daughter. You're saving her. This is it.
Yes,
and
correct.
It showed you that. It didn't tell you that, and that's why the first game was so amazing. It's again the same with Game of Thrones. The whole scene with the Hound and fucking Arya.
Yeah,
they hate each other. They want to kill each other. She says his name every night before she goes to sleep because he's on her kill list.
Yeah,
and by the end of it, they're so close. He's taking a shit right next to her while she's like practicing sword dancing, and then she doesn't want to go with the big lady, right? She wants to stay with him, and it's no longer, "Oh, I'm going to sell you" or "I'm going to kill you." It's this is it. We're together.
Yeah, and the Hound will fight Brienne of Tarth to the fucking death. Yes. And the show does a great job setting all that up, and it shows us that. It lets us come to those conclusions, and it lets us understand these characters' motivations. It falls apart at the end of the show, right? The 8th season, maybe even the 7th season. but this seasons of The Last of Us don't really do that very effectively. The show Last of Us tells us and doesn't show us hardly anything.
I thought that could have been what the second game was about. It's this is the relationship now. It's not said, but it is said. The daughter, father, teenager, angst. You know, maybe there's a rift other than the you took it from everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, don't let that be the fucking rift. Let it be some external force or something, and then they grow detached. You know, maybe she buddies up with Tommy, and you know Joel kind of gets jealous, and Tommy's like the cool uncle. But then when shit goes down, you know, maybe Tommy disappoints her, and she finds solace in Joel because he's that guy, and he makes those types of decisions. And maybe she needs somebody like Joel to make that decision or something. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of like spitballing here
Sure.
of what could have been.
Yeah, you're saying if
What they
there
took
was,
from us.
yeah, what they took from everyone. Basically changing, a fanfic, rewriting the second story, the second game.
Exactly.
Yeah,
to
man.
the feel of the first game. I didn't know what your point was to bring it up to ending. I kind of took it and ran with it for me to say that, yes, you should have made those decisions. That's what makes it a great game.
I think at the end of the second, maybe if everything still had to kind of play out the same way, I think at the end of the second game, it should have given you a choice to play as Ellie or play as Abby and decide to kill or forgive the other character. I think that's what it should have done. Basically, like giving you the choice to be Joel in the room at the end of the first game, or to forgive, and that's like up to you, the player, and then just be 4 different endings. Like it just had to be 4 different endings, where basically you choose the last section of the game to play as either Abby or Ellie, and then you get to choose as that character whether you're going to kill the other one at the end or let them go, forgive them. But they didn't do that. They force you into what they decided the message was, which I think was pretty lame.
They took that decision away from you. Now, what's the percentage in your mind that's maybe was seriously considered a decision? And what do you think in your mind was a percentage of they didn't do that because they figured you would kill Abby 100% of the time? Like 100% of the people would just kill Abby, and that would just destroy the whole Abby thing that they were trying to do.
We come from a world of metrics and KPIs and graphs and scales and tracking, and I think the people who give a shit about putting choices out there and then seeing what people choose, I think they would have been very interested in the bar graph or the line graph or the pie chart. You know what I mean? I think they would have been very interested to see that, 78% of the characters chose to play as Ellie killing Abby, and only 5% chose to forgive Ellie as playing as Abby, or whatever, whatever the 4 different ways it pans out. I think it would have been interesting, but I don't think they even had the gumption. I don't think they even had the smarts to even think that should have been the ending of the second game.
And that's funny because I never made that connection, but they could have done that, and they could have taken it a step further. The hospital's decision, if you had one, to be like, okay, The Last of Us 2 decision,
like
the
Mass Effect,
options.
like Mass Effect.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe they were too chicken shit, or maybe they just always knew that's what the ending was going to be. Maybe, but I thought maybe it would have been a 10 times more interesting game if they said kill Abby, save Abby, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Because the game doesn't end like that. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I would have killed Abby. Fuck that bitch. And I would have killed the fucking bald headed dude. I don't care.
the bald headed dude, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as Abby, I would have just thrown myself face first in the water and not got back up. because at that point I was fucking over it.
I would have chose the option where you cut off Abby's cock and wear it as a necklace.
Can you?
Fucking goes down to your knees.
Steroids will do that to you, man.
I know.
Gender confusion. I was confused.
I was confused because she only took it from behind. That's where I was like, okay. It's a dude.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely made the character Abby as dudeish as you could make a dude and not somehow be a dude. So so real quick, I know we're running long here. If the decision to make Abby in the game be fucking the Hulk, be like Gigantor, and that was such a great idea back then because they defended it. The writers were like, no, all you guys are just bigots and transphobes not liking Abby, the character that we made. Why is it they cast the littlest girl in the world to play Abby in the show? If their writing was so fucking good when the game came out, why is Abby not muscular in the show?
That was the twist of the show.
Oh yeah! Oh,
that
fucking
was the twist.
Subverted my expectations. Yeah.
I was like, what?
My mind is so blown, man.
I mean, I don't know how practically you could do that, anyways.
Dude, there's fucking
a straight up trans person, but
there's female bodybuilders out there. There's plenty of actual females that are actually super muscular.
I guess, but actors, where's? I mean, I don't.
Hey,
know
dude,
many actors.
Let's look at the acting pool they got in the show right now. I mean, they could probably pull somebody off the fucking street and match the same energy they got. I don't know, man.
I don't know why they did that, and it's crazy. I'm not seeing more of people ask that question. I wonder if they're afraid or if they're not allowed.
I don't know, man.
Why? I want people to riot in the fucking streets and burn down buildings because Abby's not buff as shit.
I think she should have been
small balls but a big cock.
Right. So I really
with fucking pimples.
Yeah. The tremolodone or whatever it's called, the fucking trend pimples. I really do think that in the show she should have been super muscular. And I'm not saying I like it from the video game. I'm just saying, why don't you, if it was so good in the game, stay true to the source material. Why are you changing it? You're changing it because you're a coward. The writers are cowards. They're chicken shit. They're fucking incompetent. And I don't like it. It's just another example of that they're stupid. Because they changed it. They're admitting it was a bad decision from the jump, from the get-go.
I want to be a fly on the wall. Wasn't it exec? Was it someone up top? Was it them getting together and being like, flip a coin? Buff, no buff? I mean, was it like, oh, we've had this actress in our head this whole time. We love her. She was just so happened to be available. You know, why not? Doesn't matter. I don't know, because that's literally like having someone who has like no legs and walking around. Like, it's like having Xavier fucking walking around instead of being in a wheelchair. It's like, that's the whole thing. The dude's in a fucking wheelchair.
It's a core part of the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just think of any of those fucking movies. He's just like walking around and they don't explain why he's not in a wheelchair.
Right. Yeah. I think
that's her whole thing. She's buff as fuck.
Right. Yeah. Or how about Logan, the Wolverine character, not making him short, hairy, and from Canada? You know what I mean?
Exactly. But he's so buff, it cancels out the comics, because who cares about comics?
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? They should have they should have definitely gotten a bodybuilder lady to play Abby.
I mean,
there's
in the show. 80 X-Men to cast. There's like 2 main characters in The Last of Us.
Right.
You made them Mexican. I guess that was never thought of, and the dad was a cop. Watch out, guys, he's a cop. He shoots people, and he's gonna beat the shit out of his kids.
He's gonna crack beers open and beat the fuck out of his kids.
Yeah, but instead he's gonna have a heart-to-heart, which no fucking alcoholic dad has ever had. They only know punching. You think my dad ever sat down and had a huge heart to heart with me while he was fucking drinking? Never.
It never happened. I do kind of like that scene. I think that actor, he's been popping up in a lot of stuff here lately. I don't know the actor's name, but I think he was in some Marvel stuff recently. He was in the new Daredevil show, Marvel. I think he's a pretty good actor. And I did kind of like the show, that scene in the show, and I did kind of like the message too. The message, like try to be better than I was. I kind of like that a little bit, but it wasn't in the game. It's just some extra shit that they added in. Just like everything else they shove in, they waste our time, because if the source material was so good, let it stand on its own merits and succeed. And it can't, and they know that, and that's the reason why they're adding and changing so much shit.
Yeah, to me, it didn't make any sense. I get it, but maybe it's too personal. But it's like no person sober reflects ever.
You
That's the
mean
reason why they are drunk. That's the reason they are abusive. Because no one talks like that. No one's like, man, you know what? It's true. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you now, but at least I beat the shit out of you less than my dad, and maybe you'll beat the shit out of your kids less. What? That conversation never happens ever. It's abuses the abused. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. I thought that was kind of dumb.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't.
I get it. It set up the emotional thing with Ellie. I hope you'd be better. Don't be gay. I'll make you better. Wait, what?
Oh shucks.
Oh shit! What am I saying?
Just the beer
I
talking.
drink coffee, not beer.
You weren't abused, were you?
I want to abuse my dad. Drank a lot.
Yeah.
And he's never said I drink a lot and I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
and his dad beat the shit out of him, like bad beat him, and he's never. I mean, he's only mentioned it with like a smile on his face, but he's never been like, "Hey, my dad beat me, and so I'm not gonna beat." I mean, you know what I mean? It's like,
okay.
That's never happened.
But did he beat you?
I mean, my childhood was scary.
Okay.
I never got punched, but it was scary up until teenager years, till there was 4-on-1 and we were all fat, and you know what I mean?
It was hard
when we stopped getting spanked. I've had some scary nights, but like I said, I've never had him sit down and be like, you know what, my dad, and you know that just doesn't happen. That to me is unrealistic.
Yeah, maybe you're right. So too is unrealistic of having a friend group that is like a lesbian who's immune to a fungus virus and having Gigantor, the next Mr. Olympia, and then also a trans kid. I think it's just as unrealistic, probably.
And then like a black doctor, and then a Mexican guy who says pendejo every now and then, and then a female who looks like she's on fucking meth who's pregnant, and then a fucking Backstreet Boys looking guy who looks like a tard who's gonna fuck you in the ass.
Okay, I think we might be getting a little intoxicated on the
maybe
on the caffeine, maybe.
Oh Jesus!
Mm-hmm.
Pendejo.
Yeah, I think what they should have done actually was they should have came out in the show and told us that Joel was now gay. That's probably the next step, actually. And he was going to start cross-dressing and stuff. He was going to be the most important, just underneath the therapist. He was going to be the most important member of the society because he was going to be the only cross-dresser.
And he was going to do like story time and shit.
He was going to do story time for all the kids.
But they took it from everyone.
Okay, well, so I'm going to go ahead and start recording right now, and we'll start the pod now that we've warmed up.
Okay.
We'll start the
My voice is warmed up.
Yeah, and now we'll start talking about like the show The Last of Us now that we have a better idea of what we need to talk about. Hey
guys!
It's Cloudy Emerald. Yeah. He's here.
It's me.
Here I am. Yeah. Well, I know. Any closing words? Like, anything we need to mention, touch on before I go ahead and hit the stop button? World's fastest podcast.
Show sucks.
The show does suck, dude. I am hate watching it. I think my wife may like it a little bit more than I do, and she's having to suffer through me sit there and freak out about it and bitch about it. And I feel really
100%.
sorry. Yeah, I feel sorry for her, but she has to listen
It's
to
not
me.
that bad. Don't fucking lie to me. You watch TikTok. I don't believe you.
Yeah, it is. It is that bad when the first game is so fucking good, dude. It's so good. Oh, probably the best game I've ever played.
It's up there
Yeah,
next to Super Metroid.
Super Metroid's cool too, but it didn't make me love a fake character as a daughter. So
You didn't like the Metroid?
the Metroid child,
Shame.
yeah, that
Yeah,
follows
when
you
he
around.
dies, I mean, tear jerking.
The Metroid baby dies.
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Well, as an adult.
I remember it sucking the mother brain's life force out.
Yeah, the only reason why it did that is because when it was sucking your balls off, your suit goes pew 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 pew, and that was the sound from when it hatched because you was dying. Pew pew, and then it recognized you. You're like, oh shit, your mom, and then it goes away, and then you fight the final boss, and then it goes pew 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 when you're dying from the mother brain, and then it sucks the mother brain's shit, and it gives you the mother brain's power / life back.
Yes.
And then it comes in for a second one, like, oh, I'll do that again. Nope, mother brain's seen that before, kills it.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, go away, save yourself. I'm already super cool now. I don't need any more fucking health. Go. And it dies, and yeah.
Yeah, I need to play that. I need to play that again. but it was. I played it several times. It's really good. Super Metroid is really fucking good.
Super good, dude. I listen to the music like all the fucking time because
Yeah,
cool.
Meridia, like the soundtrack to Meridia. Yeah, I love it. Well, yeah, I feel like I got it all out, man. I feel like I did.
Same.
Cool. Well, I really do appreciate you stopping by and helping rejuvenate my podcast thing for YouTube. I haven't done one of these in like 2 years. Uh, it's been a pretty busy for me. It's been a pretty busy last 2 years of my life. I've been doing a lot of stuff and took a big step back from YouTube video editing and everything else. But just been doing the live stream thing because it's easier just to go live. So yeah, Cloudy, appreciate it. I really appreciate your attention to detail and also your opinion and your take on this media and everything else. And thanks, man. For everybody else who stuck with me to the end, don't forget to like and subscribe and shit like that. I'm Protodead, and I'll catch you on the flip flop. Peace.